Hey, welcome back to another episode of Soaps and Sass.
How y'all doing today?
Hope everybody's well and warm, depending what part of the country you are in.
For real, for us who are up north, we got a storm. It's so fun.
Indeed. I am one of your hosts, Mama Sass.
And I'm Baby Sass.
All right. Why don't we jump right into it?
All right.
I got my recap prepared, but there was a lot happening this week. So this isn't really, I'm going to try to keep it some kind of sensible, but it's not in any particular order. And I know there's going to be a lot of stuff I'll leave out. And maybe as we delve into more stuff, the storylines will come out.
Right. And I will try to refrain from going into tangents as this recap happens.
Sounds good. All right. This is the week of February 10th to February 14th. Hope y'all had a great Valentine's Day.
For those of you who cared. Because some of us didn't.
Right. Okay. Let me start off with Nina meets with Carly. She wants to partner with her to break up Willow and Drew. And in, what can only be described as how to win friends and influence people, Nina kind of jabs at Carly a little bit, as she is prone to do. But ultimately, they form an alliance. Carly's like, yep, but we have to be strategic. We have to be careful. We cannot get caught. Nina's like, hey, I'm good with that, but I need a favor, which turns out to be needing Carly to speak to Tracy, because Tracy really is the big fly in the ointment. Next, we have a couple of custody battles going on this week. I'm going to start with, with Sasha and Willow. So Sasha and Willow both have an appointment at the Port Charles Grill, so they run into each other there. Once again, it's a little bit of a snark fest. They exchange barbs, and then they go off to meet their respective appointments. So Willow is meeting with Martin, Sasha is meeting with Felicia, and shocker surprise, Cody's there. Cody is also blindsided by Sasha because he also thought he was just meeting with Felicia. But Felicia decides to mediate, and it was actually really interesting to watch. She did a good job trying to mediate. It's like, I'm sure you can understand, Cody, how your behavior could be perceived as intrusive and inappropriate and a betrayal. He's like, oh, yeah, I can see it. But anyway, long story short, Sasha and Cody make peace because they really do love each other and their family, and he really does want the best for her. She understands he wants the best for her. He wasn't trying to hurt her. They make peace, and no sooner do they shake hands and kiss and make up, Jason comes to the door because he's now back in town, and having been warned by Tracy about this rumor that's going around, he goes looking for Sasha. So Jason walks into the Port Charles Grill, and apparently Cody has short-term memory loss because he immediately laces into Jason, starts hollering down the restaurant, again putting Sasha's business out there. Jason's like, I don't have to explain nothing to you. Cody insists. Sasha again loses her temper, understandably so. Gives Cody a bit of a bath in the middle of the restaurant, shall we say? Storms off. Jason's like, sucks to be you, dude. Goes to find Sasha, where he does indeed find Sasha and kind of gets the story, finds out what's happening, and Sasha's like, but listen, I need you to keep up the lie. Jason agrees as long as Danny is made aware of what the actual truth is. Sasha has no problem with this. We go back to Port Charles Grill. Like I said, Willow was meeting with Martin. Martin is trying to convince Sasha to get some dirt on Michael. He's also telling her that she doesn't need to hide the relationship with Drew anymore because everybody knows, so really, what is the point? So Sasha is relieved on that front that she doesn't have to hide, but she doesn't want to sandbag Michael. She still loves him. She still respects him. Doesn't think it's the right play. Nina comes in from her meeting with Carly, and she hears what Martin is trying to persuade Sasha to do, and Nina's just like, why do we need to be in such a hurry? I think we can let cooler heads prevail. We can wait till Michael's up and about before we do anything. And Martin's like, no, Diane came hard. We need to hit back harder. Nina's trying to calm things down.
She's trying to stall. That's what she's really doing. She's mainly trying to stall.
Right, because we all know if the marriage is dissolved, Willow's going to run off with Drew, which nobody wants.
No.
Then Cyrus, who
had just shown up to work.
Yeah. Cyrus had just arrived at work from Turning Woods, where he learned he's banned somehow makes the connection that Liz is to blame, which I can kind of see, but it's not Liz. We all know that. But anyway, so he's on the warpath, but he's hoping to get Lucky to intervene on his behalf. So,
especially with Lulu. Oh, that's what it was. He was with Lulu, not Turning Woods.
Right. He ran into Lulu as well. Yeah.
Which did not go as he expected.
No.
Which is, like, honestly, very fair. It's like the last thing this woman remembers is you being, like, the shady man you were before you got arrested and thrown into jail.
Right.
And then she's in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you know, she finds out that you're her uncle and you tried to ship her off to another state.
Right.
So, no, she's not going to trust you. She's not going to want to, be around you and whatnot. So, I don't know why he thought, showing up when she's just having a nice afternoon and talking to her was going to...
Well, I don't think he showed up knowing she was there. He showed up to get some food.
He didn't,
but then he saw her and decided to approach her, which was a mistake. But that being said, so he wants Lucky to intervene on his behalf. He wants Martin to facilitate a meeting between him and Lucky. So off they go to Charlie's, right? So that interrupts the meeting that Willow, Nina, and Martin are having. Enter Tracy from wherever she's been. Tracy spies Willow, laces into Willow as per usual, and demands her mother's ring back because Willow is wearing Lila's ring.
Which, in fairness...
There's no fairness? Tracy's out of order.
No, not in fairness of demanding for the ring. No. I've been saying this from time. How is it you still wearing this ring? You think your marriage is over. Take it off. Like...
Sure.
If I think my marriage is over, I'm not wearing my wedding ring anymore.
Right, but she still loves Michael. She don't know what she wants.
I don't care. You can still love the person, but if you think your marriage is over and you are in love and want to be with someone else and you're actively doing things with this other person, take off your wedding ring.
This is fair.
Because because like every time I see it, I'm just like, you really are just stomping and treading upon the vows and commitments you made to the other person that you stood up in front of family and God.
I see you're very passionate about this.
I'm very passionate, especially, like, I don't abide cheating at all, and just the fact that she basically is disrespecting Lila and Michael and basically just, like, her entire marriage by keeping her wedding rings on when she's having this affair pisses me off.
Did you want to say that for what had me hot, or?
Oh, that's just a continuous had me hot, so no.
Okay. So that's fine. So while Tracy's lacing into Willow, Alexis also enters the PC Grill. Not really sure if she was just having lunch, was supposed to meet somebody, but anyway, she clocks Tracy, giving Willow the gears, drags Tracy away, and basically tells Tracy, listen, stop your nonsense. My granddaughter is in the middle of this, and I don't want my granddaughter leaving town, and you are not helping the situation. Tracy starts to protest. Alexis says, hey, remember you had me arrested under false charges? You framed me? You owe me. Tracy's like, oh, okay, I will behave. Cool, fine. Later, Tracy's at home. Carly shows up, and Carly's like, you need to back off. Tracy's like, why in the world would I do that? Carly's like, listen, you're messing again with the custody arrangement. We have to trust Michael to handle the situation. Tracy's like, what about Drew? Carly says, oh, I got your Drew. Tracy's like, okay, I'm going to leave it to you. Fine. Other storyline, custody battle number 2. Ava shows up at the park where Avery and Donna happen to be playing with Christina. They were supposed to be with Joss, but Joss got dragged off to the police station. I'll come back to that. So Ava tries to convince Christina, well, it didn't take really, not Christina, Avery, and not that it took much convincing.
Seeing as how child and also
mom, right? So she's trying to take Avery back to her place. Christina's like, I don't think so. It's like, I'm her mother. At least Avery had the good sense to be like, hey, Christina, may I? And Christina's like, well, I really don't think that's a good idea. Fortunately, Rick and Liz enter, and they see what's going on. Rick drags Ava off. Liz stays with Christina, talks Christina off the ledge for the moment, which is all good. Rick basically lays into Ava, tells her she's lost her flipping mind. Christina is concerned. After everything's resolved on that end, Christina later calls Sonny to tell him that Ava tried to kidnap the child. Sonny's like, listen, I'm in LA. I will deal with this when I get home. Sonny has a conversation with Natalia on the flight back. Natalia gives him some good advice, and ultimately, by the end of the week, Sonny has offered 50-50 custody to Ava, which she accepts. Rick is livid, completely having forgotten that really all Ava wants is time with her daughter. The rest doesn't matter. And it's not like Rick is losing money because he's already confirmed he's going to do the case pro bono. I don't know. I didn't think what Ava was offering was all that sweet, but sure.
We'll see how long this lasts.
We'll see how long that lasts. Let me see. We jump over to the Quartermain. So I think at the end of last week, Rocco told Danny about Cyrus being the suspect in his mother's death. So Danny's a little bit of a hothead, it seems, although understandably, I guess, in this situation, in this context.
But also we've noticed he's been acting out within the last, I think, year or so, like before Sam died, because he's like, he was out drinking, he was
smoking,
exactly,
weed, whatever.
Exactly. So
we haven't seen more of that.
No.
Speaking of drop storylines.
No, but his hothead, I think, is coming back, especially with that.
Yeah.
Because as we know, he's very much like his father.
I don't know. We know that. I don't know that we know that, but he because I don't think Jason's hot-headed, which is why he's called Stone Cold.
Fair enough. In this case, though,
it's
what Sam feared, that he was like his father.
Yes, I think it's an unreasonable fear, but whatever. So Danny finds out from Rocco that Cyrus is the main suspect. Danny's trying to figure out how to find Cyrus. Kai posts a picture on his Instagram feed. He's over at Charlie's with Emma and Trina and Gio. And Cyrus just happens to get caught in the background of the picture. So Danny books it over to Charlie's, where he confronts Cyrus. I don't know that Cyrus knew who this boy was. But anyways. And so he says, I'm going to pray for you. And actually starts praying for Danny. Which was
I didn't pick that up.
Really interesting.
I really did not pick up that the man was praying.
He started to pray. Back at the Quartermain house, Rocco's like, oh my goodness, what have I done? I made a mistake. I did the wrong thing. Jason comes in with Sasha. They see Rocco's upset. Rocco tells him what happened and that Danny has gone to Charlie's. So Jason comes in as Cyrus is praying for Danny. And while he's praying, Cyrus has his hand on Danny's shoulder. Jason's like, get your hands off my child.
We all know that's not what he said. And we all know he did not say it like that.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Get your hands off my son. Is that better? Anyway, listen, if you want to know how he said it, go watch the episode.
It was...
I don't even know what day that was, but I'll find it.
Pretty sure that was the...
Thursday? Whatever day it was. It's the week of February 10th to 17th. You will find it in there. I'm sure the clips are all over Facebook and YouTube. Anywho, so Cyrus backs away, but here's the thing. There's a crowd of people in Charlie's. I mean, when you want to talk about a record scratch and everything goes silent, everybody's looking. So he takes Danny, goes home, explains to Danny, listen, I don't know if you know who this guy is, but you can't be doing this kind of craziness. And also tells Danny, he and Sasha tell Danny about the baby. And Danny's like, cool, who's the real father? And they're like, we can't tell you. Okay, I just thought I'd ask. That's fine. After the scene with Jason at Charlie's, again, many stories I don't care about at the moment because there's a much more interesting one going on. Trina explains to Kai that Cyrus held her hostage and so on, and then all of a sudden, Kai has a spike of testosterone. I don't know what was in the pills he's taking. So my man jumps up and steps to Cyrus and talking about, you need to leave. And Cyrus is like, I beg your pardon? He's like, well, nobody wants you here. But I gotta give Kai credit. I'm asking you to leave, but you know what? I'm going to pay your bill. Okay. Respect for that. I'm not sure what you thought you were doing, though, but respect for that particular move. Martin is beside himself. How can Jason come in here and talk to you that way and threaten you in front of people? You need to press charges. And Cyrus is like, I just want peace. It's not a big deal. Just leave it. Martin goes off to the police station, files a complaint. Anna brings Jason in and ultimately arrests Jason for uttering public threats. Anna is apparently, figured out as police commissioner, she's allowed to arrest people. because in her investigation of Cyrus, they brought the superintendent in to question him, the superintendent from Cyrus's building. They find out that Joss has been there, that the super let Joss into the place. So Joss, with her facetious self, she also ends up arrested this week. I didn't catch that, but Baby Sass says yes, she did get arrested. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yep, because Joss just was like, should I leave or should I call Diane? And Anna said, call Diane, you're getting arrested.
Yep, felony trespass. I was like, all right, okay.
So I'm honestly surprised, one, we did not see her in lockup when Jason got arrested. And two, I'm just like...
we haven't seen Jason down in the cell yet.
But also, I'm just like, I'm waiting for Carly to find out.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. We also have Elaine. Martin is determined, because I think Willow called at one point and said, yeah, Martin, go ahead. See what dirt you can dig up on MC3.
This is while they were still at dinner. Stop calling him that. But yes, this is while they were still at the PC Grill, yes. And he was leaving, and she's just like, you know what? Have at it.
Like I said, my notes are no particular order, but these are the things that happen. So Martin hires private investigator Elaine, the lady with the dog, in case you don't remember, the dog Mavis. So Elaine somehow ends up talking to Sasha, because apparently the cook is the person who will know all the dirt. So she ended up on Sasha's trail. Elaine tells Martin that Sasha is dumb as a box of nails. It's like, wait, what? Come on, Elaine, stop. Then Sasha meets Felicia to apologize for the scene that was caused earlier, and then talks about how she met this beautiful dog named Mavis. And Felicia's like, I ain't know but one dog named Mavis. It belongs to this lady named Elaine. It's like, yeah, that's right. And she's like, well, Sasha, you better watch your step, because Elaine's a private investigator. At which point Sasha's like, Shabaki? Okay. So Sasha, who really is not dumb as a box of rocks, finds Elaine with some, I thought, some very clever work. Finds Elaine, but unfortunately, this made me laugh. But she nearly sent Elaine to her death, because she let the dog loose. Sasha let Elaine's dog loose. The dog ran into the street. Elaine ran behind it and got hit by a car.
The funny thing is, it's just like, Elaine is very much like, when she's with Mavis, she's like, oh, my baby, she's so beautiful. But but Mavis freaking runs off into the street, and Elaine chases after her, and literally her words are, Elaine,
Mavis,
you bitch, get back here. And I'm just like, oh gosh. And then, and she gets hit by a car.
Indeed. So Sasha obviously feels super guilty, because the only reason she let Mavis loose was to go through Elaine's bag, find this little notebook where she keeps her notes, to find out what the heck Elaine is investigating.
Right, and also I'm just like, Sasha does not need any more trauma with people getting hit by cars. She has enough already.
She does. So she's at the hospital to make sure that Elaine is okay, and then Elaine feels very touched by Sasha being so solicitous, and says, listen, I need to come clean with you. I'm a private investigator. I can't tell you who hired me, but somebody's looking into you to get some dirt, so watch your back. So we'll see how or if that plays out next week.
I thought she figured out Sasha, to be honest. I thought she knew Sasha was playing her.
I thought so too.
Because she said, we need to come clean, let's stop playing around the bush. So I was like, oh.
Yep.
But
we could go into much more detail later, but we also had Molly and Cody had another run-in. They end up stuck on the roof of General Hospital. That was just ridiculous on a level.
We'll get to that later.
And the other thing I have, and again, when I said the story that I actually care about, that I want to see more of, and I've forgotten by the time we saw it.
I forgot too.
Like, come on, writers. We had this is a tease, but come on.
Once we got a look, I was like, oh shoot. And then Mom still didn't clue in when I said, oh shoot. And she's like, what? And I paused the episode. And she's like, and I'm like, Mom, like, come on. And she finally clued in, and she's like, back it up. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course I'm backing it up. Anyway.
So we back it up because Jens has showed up at Deception, where they're having a staff meeting.
And guess who's in the staff meeting?
In the room, Maxie, because Maxie's the only body with an office at Deception.
Apparently.
Brooklyn, Lulu, Natalia, and Lucy.
But especially, as you said, Natalia is in this room.
So Jens comes in. It's like, oh, sorry to interrupt. And Lucy's like, oh, let me introduce Jen Sidwell. I mean, okay, so this is the end of the recap, so I'm just going to go right into the next.
No, that's fine. Just go.
Just so you know, because...
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Yeah, so just to make it clear, as Mom said, we're now getting into storylines because this was too good. So recap's over. Recap, it's over. You're caught up.
This is the story that has my interest right now. And so again, two Fridays, just a throwaway scene at the end of the episode. Come on, writers, not cool. Jens walks into the room. Lucy's like, oh, hello, everybody. I would like to introduce Jen Sidwell. But when he knocked on the door and said, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting, Natalia turns around. Natalia looks like she's about to lose her lunch, and she goes off to the side.
Here's the thing: if you're not paying attention,
you don't see
it because after Lucy introduces Jens, it goes to Lulu because she's like, and the camera zooms in on Lulu as Natalia is kind of sneaking off into the corner.
Right.
So you're not focused on Natalia because you forgot about last week.
We forgot. So Lucy says, "This is Jen Sidwell." Lulu says, like, Jen Sidwell? What the tail?
As Lulu has been doing.
Right? Brooklyn, who has a smile on her face, like, oh, how lovely to meet you, smile. Lulu starts lacing into this man. Brooklyn gives her such a side eye.
She's just like, oh, really? You have another grievance? And on top of that, Brooklyn's already peeved off because Lulu was late.
Right? Yeah, Lulu was late for work. I'm going to come to that in a different segment. But... yeah, so we find out, or everybody in the room finds out, that Jen's kidnapped Lucky, as we all know. Jen's is like, there's two sides to every story.
And Lucy's like, oh, well, maybe you got it wrong, and, maybe it was a difference. Like, how many people, like, how common is the name Jen Sidwell?
Which is what Lulu points out. You hear this every day. I mean, you can't throw a rock in this town without hitting 7 Jen Sidwells.
Right? It's like, Lucy, what stupidity are you spouting?
Right? So while they're arguing, Natalia slips out the back.
They lock eyes. Jen and Natalia lock eyes. Natalia has this look on her face that's like a mix of anger, disgust, frustration, just so many looks in one. And then Jen pans away because talking, and Natalia, ever so sneaky.
But I'm just gonna say, I'm sure we have all had that moment where you come into the presence of somebody that you are furious with, but it's not the time or the place. You know this, and you actually have some control of your emotions, and you give them that look where the earth is gonna open, drop them in, and close back up. That's the look Natalia gives this man, and she just out the room.
And here's the thing: so we're watching this.
Oh my God.
And it's I catch the look that she gives Jens,
and then I saw it too.
You saw it too, but you saw.
But I didn't understand. I didn't know what it was about. I'm like, why's she looking at him like that?
So we saw the look, and then Natalia kind of slips out, and then that's when I clued in. I'm like, oh shoot, we forgot about last week, and so I paused the episode as I had mentioned before, and Mom's like, what you do that for? And I was like, Mom, you forgot. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, the whole Jen's connection. She's like, oh, once I said that, Mom's eyes got big, bold, and she's like, oh, because really we could not believe we forgot about that.
Cannot.
Because
nicely done, writers. Nicely done, but I don't like it. Don't do it again.
So we back it up, watch it again, watch it true, and we're just like, okay. And then I like how she slipped out, but I'm also like, I didn't somehow. When Natalia slipped out, there must be like another room, another door, something.
Oh, for sure.
Because she slipped out. I thought she was just gonna hide behind the wall, wait till man left, and then come back out. No. She slips behind the wall, and then the next thing you know, she's in the parking lot asking a man for a cigarette.
Shaken. She is shaken to her core.
And not 2 seconds later, Jens, I thought you quit that nasty habit. And it's like, well, I thought I did too until, it's like, so. And Jen's being like, so I see you haven't told your coworkers that we were once married. It's like, and us being like, why would she
tell them? Like,
one, she never ever thought she'd see you again. At least from what I'm guessing, like she'd be like, small town. Well, small town as it appears to be, even though it's not.
But even still, how is that cause for conversation?
Right?
Like, I mean, I've got ex-boyfriends in my life. I'm going to meet you. I certainly My coworkers barely knew I was married. Never mind that I had ex-boyfriends. Like, why is this relevant?
Right? I'm like,
I thought that was a stupid thing to say. That was a dumb line.
right?
But
I'm like, Port Charles is as big as the city we live in, I'm going to assume. So I'm like, yes, you have people in the city, but it's like, what are the chances of running into those people? Especially someone it's like you haven't seen in probably however many years.
even if,
It's like, no. And
unless you are dating a guy I used to date and you bring him into a room where I am, what am I going to tell you about it for?
And also,
are we friends? It doesn't. It was a stupid line,
right? And I get there was the point before when like Sasha got kidnapped, and they were like, if you see this man, you know, whatever. So they had that out, but it's not like he is, you know. Like, as of right now, no one has a warrant out for his arrest, but it's not like he's, like, some big, super international, like, problem, and literally every single, like, agency's after him. It's, like, American, like, Interpol, Canadian. Like, it's not like every single, you know, law enforcement agency around the world is after this man. It's not the case. So it's not like everyone's going to be like, oh, we must make sure to keep an eye out for this man, and if this man does not, no. Because it's not like Natalya has to be like, oh, so you know how that guy's going on in the news? Yeah, he was my ex-husband.
right? There's
no reason.
So
there's nothing. Unless he does something that's like really, you know, I would say detrimental or harmful to deception, she's not going to say anything. But I do think she might actually say something fairly soon to at least the people of deception, because it's like, one, and here's the thing too, if we're right about Jens being Blaze's father, it's like, oof, Blaze is the face of deception.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
that's got to be like, yeah, you kind of have to disclose that, especially with also the fact that Maxie's like, I want to know everything about this guy, especially if he kidnapped Lucky.
I just was going to say, Maxie was like, no. Never mind all of that. I want to know everything about this man. You are absolutely right. And she has a right to, I think. So that was kind of interesting. Other storyline points that you want to talk about? Oh, I suppose we should mention Sonny and his health. There's not really a whole lot to say.
There's really not, because
he don't need a pacemaker after all of that.
No, he just needs surgery.
He just needs surgery, but he's delaying because he wants to find out who fired Mom to his place. So we know that his delay is going to come back in some form or fashion.
I'm just like, sir, how about you get a surgery and then heal from that, and then focus all your energy?
Listen.
But anyway, I will also quickly say, just quickly back to the Jen Sidwell thing, I am very interested to see how that plays out with Natalya. Moving back to wherever we were going.
Well, no. Since you went back to Jen Sidwell, I also saw in my notes where Jordan was meeting with Jens. Curtis showed up, so Curtis got to meet him as well. And
everybody just means the man.
Yeah, and Curtis warned Jordan about him. Basically, Jens is like, Curtis is basically telling Jordan, clearly this man has an agenda, which Jordan already knows. Watch your back.
Also, it'll be interesting because Lucy's trying to get him to put money into deception, which I think is interesting because it's like, oh, you're going to have this man.
And Sonny.
In deception. I'm like, your business is already, like, you know, barely above water just because of, like, decisions and Lucy, because Lucy's really, like, But it's like, I feel so bad for Maxie because Maxie really cares about this business, and with the way things are going, I don't know how it's going to survive.
The other thing with Jens that happened this week that doesn't make sense, and I'm curious as to how this plays into the storyline, because for me, every move Jens makes, it's like, what are you up to? Jens was at the hospital this week, supposedly with a tick in his arm.
Right.
And so, you know, he's chatting up Lucas and everything. It was like, okay, apparently you can get ticks on Windermere because the grass is so tall and ticks survive in winter. Sure, fine, no problem. But I don't buy it. It's sus. It was a weird storyline plot point. Could be just random, but I didn't care for it.
I didn't care for it either, but I do think it's very interesting how Lucas and Jens were talking, and just before Jens left, Jens reached out and touched Lucas's arm, and Lucas had a look of like he was very uncomfortable with this. And I'm like, one, I can understand you being uncomfortable. Why some random man who's your patient now touching you on the arm, being like very friendly? Like, it's like, I know we just had a friendly conversation, but I don't know you like that.
Maybe because the world is so small, so now we're friends, right? World is small because he lived at Windermere. World is small because Ava's helping Jens decorate. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So now we're simpatico. We're buds. So I can touch you.
No.
Lucas wasn't here for it.
No. But speaking of Lucas,
I did want to know when Lucas lived at Windermere, though. I don't know that storyline. So post that in the comments if you happen to know.
Yeah. Supposedly
what that story's about.
Supposedly his mom was married to a Cassadine. And he lived there, and he found it really creepy, which is fair because Windermere is kind of creepy.
Yeah, but I don't know what that's about.
I don't know either.
Bobby was married to Stefan or something. So if you know, let us know.
But speaking of Lucas, so Lucas and Isaiah are out in front of
we are not talking about that now. I'm sorry.
This woman, I know she gave me life, but she likes to ruin my fun sometimes. Damn.
We have a plan. So
really? Because I'm pretty sure we tend to just...
Yes, I want to dissect other storylines.
No, but Mom, see, here's the thing.
Okay, you want to go there?
No, it's not even that. It's like you say we have a plan, but as... I'm as someone who loves The Flash, I'm blanking on his name, but as a certain character in The Flash says... Make the plan, execute the plan goes off the rails, forget the plan.
Oh, I see. No, I don't want to forget the plan.
I know that wasn't the exact quote, but along those lines.
And the worst part is I told you about this week. Normally I forget to tell you, but I actually told you about this. So if you forgot, that's on you. Are the other storylines? Yeah, I guess so. Other storylines we want to pick apart. No. I was going to say Chase cops to Anna that he told Dante about Cyrus.
Something is going on with Anna this week because Anna is like, okay, and this is going to tie in with Anna, Chase, and Dante. One, Dante needs a smack. He actually not even a smack. Lock that man up in a jail cell because the man is, I can't even get a sentence out. What he is doing is not healthy. Someone needs to take him somewhere and keep him locked up. Put him in a padded cell. I don't care. Because this man keeps coming back to the station like every hour or so to get information.
Like you forgot what it was to be a cop.
Right? Like to get information, it's like you're not gonna get it. It's not helping. And Anna's a little frustrated because she has to deal with this. She has to deal with people just messing up this investigation and they're not really getting any leads. But it's just like, Dante, you're not helping. And the fact that Chase went and told Dante kind of, like, I get the reasoning. It's like, if, like, as you said, if something happened to Brooklyn, he'd want to move heaven and earth to figure it out, which I totally understand, especially when you're grieving and you find out the person you love has been murdered.
Yep.
And as a cop, it must drive them absolutely, like, insane because they want to figure it out and they just can't because
they're too close. There's no reason. It's not like...
Exactly. But it's just, like, Chase, like, I really wish you hadn't. And just, like... Because now your partner is going insane and you live with him. So he's like, your partner is now going to, like, ask you these questions all the time. And just Anna just being, like, frustrated because she doesn't have one of her best detectives. She has to keep kicking him out. And then on top of that, now finds out that her other best detective has leaked information to the best detective and is like, I cannot afford to lose another one. So while I should put you on disciplinary leave, I'm not going to do that. We're going to figure out what the hell happened. We're going to put this man behind bars, and we're going to move on with our lives and get the justice we deserve. Then comes Martin storming in, being like, I want to make a complaint against Jason Morgan.
That was awesome.
For making a plain threat to my brother in front of a whole pub, and yada yada yada. And I don't know when you're gonna cross the line because you keep protecting this Jason Morgan and yada yada yada. And I'm just like, wow.
Listen, you can push Martin so far. I'm glad Martin's starting to snap. Martin's like, people are not making sense. He don't understand Willow. He don't understand Cyrus. He don't understand Anna. He has had it. Stop doing dirt. Good for you, Martin. Good for you. Now, we have a lot to cover today, right? And we want to respect people's time, keep it under the hour. So, just so that you don't completely lose your mind, let's talk about comedy moments of the week. This is a new segment because every so often, or I've noticed, they just throw in some random piece of comedy that just has me belly laughing. So, comedy of the week.
All right.
Go.
So, last week, we saw Molly. Molly was trying to get some papers. She was trying to rush out the hospital, and Cody was just not letting her go. finally, she makes it up to the roof, and she's just sitting. She's looking at the envelope she has, and she's debating. And then Cody rushes up and is like, and she's like very annoyed. And she's just like, just leave. So he tries to leave, door's locked. They're on the roof, they can't get back in, they're freaking out, they're freezing out. And then finally, when in the frigid temperatures of the cold February winds, Cody starts to take off his pants, in which Molly is like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm wearing long johns, it's okay. In which I will say,
she said, what are you doing then? What are you?
Sorry. I will quickly say, Cody, if you're wearing long johns,
Stop. Okay. That is not for the podcast.
Okay.
Stop. Oh my gosh. You can get 2 minutes of giggling. Young lady, no.
I'm sorry. It caused me concern, but also better.
Stop.
Anyway,
oh my gosh.
Anyway, so Cody takes off his pants, starts tying them up, and she's like, and Molly's like, what are you doing? And he's like, jeans are heavier than, or denim's heavier than whatever. So, and he's like, there are people down there. Pan to Lucas and Isaiah coming out of the hospital on a coffee break, talking and yada yada yada, and Lucas telling Isaiah about Jen Sidwell, and Isaiah being upset because he's like, this man had me kidnapped in Africa, yada yada yada. And then, next thing you know, you pan back to Cody and Molly on the roof. Cody takes his pants, drops it off the roof. And then we pan back to Isaiah and Lucas, and they're talking. Isaiah walks past Lucas and somehow manages to catch the, I don't know if he heard the belt, I don't know what happened, but he looked up just randomly, and he's like, look out, as if Lucas was standing in the way of a falling piano. So I was like, and in fairness, I was like, which one is going to get hit with the belt buckle? But, you know.
Well, assuming it's a high roof, like you drop a penny off a high enough roof, you can kill somebody, right?
Actually, no, that's false. The Mythbusters proved that is false.
Did they?
They did. Anyway,
excellent.
So yes. So the pants be falling. Isaiah seeing it fall. He's like, look out. They kind of jump, air quotes, because really it was a step back.
Lucas did not move. Lucas looked like, what?
Yeah. It was really Isaiah who jumped back and, anyway, so the pants land on the ground, and they both look at these pants, look at each other, and they're like,
that's weird.
Yeah, I was like, did that, what? And Isaiah's like, I think it's a cry for help. In which I'm like, you know, Isaiah probably thinks it's like a mental cry for help, not a literal cry for help. In which they both then look up and they see figures, because you can't tell exactly what it is.
We assume,
and we see Molly and Cody being like, help, we're on the roof, help. And then they look down at each other. They look down, they look at each other like, what the ass? And then look back up. And then next thing you know, they're opening the door, and they're like, don't close the door. And then hand Cody his pants.
Right, wow.
I know, that was a lot, but I had to paint the picture.
Oh, you had to paint a picture?
I had to paint a picture.
Well, I am not going to paint a picture. I can keep it short and sweet. The other comedy moment of the week for me was Lulu showing up at Bobby's. Oh, I always wanted to work here, be part of the vision of the Spencers and whatever. This is when Joss gets hauled off to the police station, and she's like, oh, shoot, I may have to close up. Lulu's like, no, go ahead, I'll cover for you. Lulu completely forgets she don't know how to run a restaurant, take orders, deliver the food. And all of a sudden, the lunch rush comes in. Is the only thing I can imagine, because where the place was empty, it suddenly pack up. Lulu nearly burned down the place with a piece of toast. It's just ridiculous.
And I'm sitting here.
Dante came to her rescue. Thank you, Dante.
And I'm sitting there questioning, like, girl, do you not know how to cook? Do you not have a cook in this restaurant? Because why is Lulu making the toast? In fairness, I get you can easily make toast, but it's just like,
you would think there's a short order cook. There normally is. I don't understand.
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen, like, when...
There has been a cook in there.
Okay, at least I'm not crazy, because I'm like, what the...
No, it was fantastic. So, That really made me laugh.
I wasn't surprised in the least.
Just to see the chaos.
When Lulu come running out with a plate of burger and another of spaghetti, and she gave it to the wrong person, because my mouth was like, I was like, ugh. I'm like, I wasn't surprised. And then Miss Mom at another table, I don't have a menu, and she's like, right, Dante coming in. And being like, what's going on? And they're having like a good 2-minute conversation. And I said, Miss Ma'am, doesn't Miss Ma'am over there not have a menu?
But apparently she didn't need it because she turned around and said, I'm ready to order.
Like,
so you know. Okay, but that scene was entertaining.
I found it slightly annoying.
But I'm going to use that to segue into what had me hot this week, since we're talking about Miss Lulu. What had me hot this week is Lulu very nearly browbeat Maxie into giving her a job at Deception.
And is late.
I'm gonna... Do you mind? Talk about I'm gonna make peace with Brooklyn. I'm gonna be the best assistant the world has ever seen. And then it's skylarking all around town doing who knows what, wherever she feel. I don't understand how these people operate on a job. I wish on my job I could do the shenanigans these people do. You just talked about how Cyrus come in for work and then turn around and gone back out to Charlie's. Lulu's all over town, harassing Christina, subbing in over at Charlie's. I don't get it. She was late for the Deception meeting at the Metro Court. Now she's late for this meeting. Like, yo, Tracy, wake up. Wake up.
For real, because here's the thing, and the thing I find very interesting is for that Deception meeting at the Metro Court, like, and even before that, when she got hired, you could see Tracy flipped into work mode and wasn't giving Lulu any, ifs and buts or excuses.
Not at all.
So I find it very interesting that she was just very much like, oh yes, Lulu, have the job. But also I'm just like I'm assuming when Lulu went to go talk to Christina about Sam and everything, she was on her lunch break. But I'm guessing that lunch break ended the second she walked through the door, because next thing you know, Brooklyn is walking into Maxie's office upset, being like, we have this meeting and Lulu's late again, which is like, Lulu, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, you're essentially supposed to follow Brooklyn like a lost puppy as her assistant, like to get information. Like, I don't know what's going on. And
I don't either.
And then pretty much everyone, like even Natalia, walks into the office before Lulu does, and it's like, hey ladies, how's everything going? And they're like, did you get the report and stuff? They're like, yes, we did. And they're like, okay, so we're gonna start the meeting. And like, oh, we're just waiting for Lucy and Lulu. And you have Lulu next thing you know back at Charlie sitting at a table with Christina talking, and then after Christina tells the blossoming love story of her brother and sister. I wish I didn't say it like that, but anyway.
Wish you hadn't, but
anyway,
yeah.
Then Lulu finally gets a text about being late to the meeting, and I'm like, how is that not the first thing you did when you walked into the office, people? Being like, where are you?
That text would have been, don't come back.
But it's like, is there like a delay in your phone? Like, I know sometimes I get text messages in my phone, which is really weird because, sometimes I'll see the message and I'll received it, and the next, 3 days later, it'll come through again and be like, I got this. So it's like, is there a delay in your phone?
I don't know.
Either way, yeah, Lulu, if you lose your job, at least you can get trained at Kelly's.
You have anything for what had you hot this week? It's okay if you don't. All right, then I'm going to go right into who called for this. I have two. One is the Molly Cody romance that seems to be blossoming. Like, why we keep throwing them together? I don't want to see this. I don't get it. I don't understand what that's about.
I'm still questioning what happened to TJ.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Would TJ suddenly vanish? Is he on a leave of absence? Where is he at? I don't understand. You have anything for who called for this? Because I got another one if you don't.
I will come back to that because I actually don't know.
Okay, my other who called for this was at the very beginning of the week on Monday, where Ava and Rick are over at her apartment.
I don't want that. How about we let that fall into the recesses of my mind and then get burned in the lava pit? Let's not bring that back up.
I'm not even going to go into detail.
I don't care. You wouldn't let me talk about Cody. You're not talking about them.
It's not that I wasn't letting you talk about it. It was for another segment, is all.
That's what that was?
Yes, it was for the comedy of the week.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh. No, but it was just...
If you said it wasn't appropriate for the podcast, Rick and Ava, and what they did is not appropriate for the podcast.
All right, well, they had a passionate embrace. Nobody wanted to see that.
You call that an embrace? I call that...
That's how I'm going to refer to it because you don't want any details.
I call it a mauling of the faces.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to kind of say, and you were like, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, my God.
It was just, ew. Like, just watch your edits more carefully, please. I don't know what's happening in post. But anyways, so that's what I had for Who Called for This.
Oh, yes. I remember what I have for Who Called for This because it scared the crap out of me.
Really? What?
After the whole Charlie's incident and everyone's finally left the pub and Elizabeth is still there with Lucky and Lucky is cleaning up and the song that they were dancing to comes on and Elizabeth is like, did you set this up? And he's like, no. I would never. In which I'm actually like, I think Lucky set this up. But he's like, anyway, since it's playing, you want to finish the dance? And she's like, sure, why not? So they start dancing. And I swear to all that is good on this earth, I was not looking at the TV. I'm like, I knew they were dancing. So I was looking at my mom because my mom was sitting at her desk. And so I'm like talking about whatever I was talking about. And then I look over at the TV because I knew something was going to happen because I'm like, you're not going to end it on just them dancing.
I think I said something.
You said something. But I'm like, I knew that they weren't just going to end off with Liz and Lucky dancing. I knew there was something more. I'm like, some crescendo is going to happen in this music to elicit some like dun dun dun. And I looked over at the TV and there's Cyrus standing in the window just glaring at the two, mainly at Liz. And basically... Literally, I went, ah! But it really was like an actual like scream of ah. I just don't want the mic to go too spiky.
Oh,
but
man.
I was ready, but I really wasn't ready.
That was fantastic. That was actually one of the highlights of my week. Because you don't scream for much. You watch a lot of horror type movies, so that was pretty awesome. Horror type.
Fair enough. Okay. Because I'm like, I don't...
You know, I mean, you watching all these Criminal Minds and Law and Order and
okay, fair enough.
Whatever.
I'm like, I don't... It's like, so that's different because that's crime
really?
compared to...
Oh, okay. You don't have these suspense moments in there?
I can't... Well, there is suspense, but it's not like...
Okay. So I have one other thing that doesn't really fall into any of the categories, but it is something I want to talk about with respect to the storylines. And I don't know that they're going to do anything with it, but it really, really struck me when Cyrus and Martin left Charlie's. And Martin is livid over Jason's behavior. Mm-hmm. And you know, we talked about this in the recap. Martin is beseeching Cyrus to file a complaint at the police department. Mm-hmm. And Cyrus is like, no, listen, I've lived my life in violence. I just want peace now. I just want peace. And Martin kind of like opened his mouth to say it and just kind of like paused, like, this does not compute.
Right.
And so I was thinking about how is this going to affect Martin's relationship with Cyrus going forward? Is he going to start to believe now that Cyrus is indeed reformed? There was like the hint of a moment in there. Mm. You know, so is Martin now going to be more open to building a relationship with his brother? Like, will there be some kind of reconciliation? I'm really curious about how that's going to go.
The other thing for me is that when he said that, it made me questions like, okay, if you just want peace, why are you killing people? Like, are you? Absolutely. It's like, if you like, do you want peace? But because of the things you've done, is like people can't stop bringing it up, and you just can't find peace. So you want to give others that peace, and the easiest way to do that is to give is to pretty much kill off the people in the hospital who just have no one or whatever, which still does not make sense for you killing Sam and Dex, even though for Dex we do have kind of a
right,
reason.
There's a motive.
Right.
Yeah.
But even still, it's just like, why Sam? But overall the question is, if you, sir, just want peace, what is your motivation? What is the trigger for you going around killing these people?
Yeah, how is that bringing peace to you?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I guess this actually does fall back into Hand Me Hot, Emma, as per usual. Because
I don't want to talk about her, but go on.
Then I'm like, you don't have to say anything. You can just listen. But yes, Emma has officially recruited Gio for something against animal cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Students.
Sorry, yeah, Students Against Animal Cruelty, or SAC.
Yeah, which is why I'm surprised you forgot what it stood for. But
I forgot the S. I knew what the AAC was.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's officially recruited Gio, and so she's like, let's get Kai Taylor on it because, you know, he's PCU's QB1 and all this. I think it'll be really good, and get him on the committee.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm like, don't do that. Sorry, Mom's leaning over, looking at something and it's scaring the crap out of me because I'm like,
stretching.
please
I'm
don't.
sorry.
Anyway, and so Kai and Trina show up, and immediately Emma goes into her whole spiel, and she's like, so we would like you to, you know, be on the committee and stuff. And even I'm like, okay, I don't even think Gio was ready for her to ask him to be on the committee, because it's like, you just want him to give a speech and everything, and now you want him on the committee? Like,
Hard sell, boy. Emma
right?
was a hard sell.
And I'm like, okay, that's much. And then, but right now, like, it really just seems like Emma is self-involved, even though she's doing this really good thing. I think she's very self-involved, and the reason I say that is because after the whole Cyrus and Danny and Jason interaction, and Trina explains to Kai what happened to her when Cyrus, you know, basically held her and her mom hostage at gunpoint in their house, she's very upset. And then immediately Emma goes and like, so, Sack, and Gio is like, Emma, what the hell? Like, she's clearly upset. Why did you just like we probably shouldn't be like, basically whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's exactly, she was upset. I was trying to take her mind off it, trying to distract her. And then Gio's like, oh, I didn't see that. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what Emma's pulling, but she's doing some kind of Jedi mind trick, because I'm like, yes, I can see you trying to take her mind off it. Like, making Gio feel bad about it is just like, at least the way she said it was really like, well, you're pretty much an idiot, because that's exactly what I was trying to do, and it's like, I don't think I think it's also the way you went about it, because even I was with Gio, I'm like, what are you doing? She's clearly upset, she's clearly kind of reliving a bit of trauma, and you immediately go back into your whole spiel that you came here to talk about. It's like, Lola, how about you be like, I'm like, Tracy, Trina, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Like, how about we go do something else to take your mind off it? We can talk about anything else to make you happier. Not just immediately like go into the sack, because it's like, that really makes you seem self-involved. You don't really care about anything but your event, your club or whatever. And it's just like, girl, slow your roll. Read the room. With you.
I think she was lying. I think she thinks very quickly on her feet. I think it was just a whole lot of bunk.
Right. But, and just also just the way, like, I love Gio, but the way she did it, and the way she basically made Gio come off when she's like, I was, and yeah, and he immediately's like, oh, it's like, it's not cool.
No.
It's just like, oh, it's like, she literally said, I can understand why you would think that. I can understand how it came off, like, thinking about it. That wasn't my intention. I really was trying to take her mind off it. But, you know, I'll be more tactful in how I go about that if someone's ever upset to that degree. Like, there's a whole way to go about it, and then just the way she did it was not okay.
Agreed. All right. So I think that brings us very nearly to the end. Any predictions?
I don't have predictions, but like I said, interested to see how it goes with the interaction between Nat and Sidwell. I'm questioning if she will tell Sunny, because
about Sidwell?
Yeah, because they've gotten closer, and just like, you know, she's been confiding in him a lot. So and you know, so I'm wondering if that's going to happen. I really, really want to know if Sidwell is Blaze's father. I really am curious about that. I'm wondering if the custody agreement that Sonny and Ava worked out will stay. Because Christina found out about the 50-50 and she did not look happy about that. I think she's going to be doing some shady business.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. I'm like, will Jason make it out of jail? Carly?
Yes.
Hellfire rain down when she finds out Joss has been arrested?
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit, probably not much. Or else Jason and Joss will get out at the same time. And it's like, don't call my mother.
I'm just curious about a lot of things, so I'm not gonna list them all off.
Yeah, I don't have any predictions. The only thing I'm curious about is really Natalia and Jen's. So, yeah, but I do have quite a bit of miscellaneous.
Oh, before we go, I'm very surprised though that Ava told Nina not to tell her the truth, Willow the truth.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing, she said all the things I've been longing to hear, and she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna poop on your parade. Don't tell her. She needs you more than she needs the truth. And I'm like, she needs both.
Yeah.
She needs the truth and she needs her mama. The question is like, will she hear the truth and be like, I'm upset with you. I'm hurt. But right now we need to deal with this. Or we can deal with it later. Like, I'm
But I think, yeah, that was a valid question. It's like, okay, once Neela builds up her world, who is she going to turn to?
Mm-hmm.
Is she going to go to Chase? Because Chase is the only person she feels has been really honest with her. And possibly Brooklyn, because she recognized that she mishandled the conversation with Brooklyn.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who can say?
Okay, go to your miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. Okay, so some things that I found came across. Actually, let me start with this one first. Just a reminder, Beyond the Gate starts next week, Monday, the 24th of February on CBS.
No, it does not. Because next week, Monday, is the 17th.
Tomorrow is the 17th.
What the hell? I can't with these anymore.
As I was saying, next week, Monday, the 24th, which is why I also specified the date, because who knows when people are listening to this. The 24th of February is the launch of Beyond the Gate on CBS, the newest soap to enter the arena.
I guess I thought I was still last week. I don't
know what you're thinking. So the Duprees as the main family. The trailer is out. Check it out. It was kind of interesting.
I will say this: they just throwing you into the scandal.
Well, that's the first week.
We don't
first month. I don't know.
We don't ease in. That trailer just threw us into the scandal.
So, check it out. We will certainly check out at least the first episode. Maybe we'll go as far as the first week. I don't know.
I think we should give it at least the first week.
I agree. So next week, or I guess that would be episode 8. Because this is episode 6 or 7?
7.
Okay, so episode 9 then. Episode 9 may be an extended episode.
Yeah.
Because we'll be covering 2 soaps.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it tight, but we'll see. The other thing I want y'all to check out is a really interesting interview on Jennifer Hudson this past week, February 10th episode, with some of the cast of General Hospital. It had
Jordan, Carly, Anna, Sonny, Curtis, and that man.
Right. AKA Finola Hughes, Maurice Bernard, Laura Wright, Cameron Matheson, and Darnell, I don't know what his last name is, and Tanisha, I don't remember what her last name is, which is really terrible. But anyways.
Wow, you remembered all the white people's.
Oh my gosh. Wow. J'accuse. Anyways, one of the things, and we probably should have said this at the top of the episode, but I didn't remember it until I started reading this, is just our thoughts go out to all those folks who live in LA that were affected by the fires. Cameron Matheson, again, well, actually I won't say it here because it's really not relevant, but Cameron Matheson lost everything. He lost his house, all his belongings. So, as much as whatever I feel about the man, I certainly don't wish that on anybody. I think that's probably a very traumatic experience. But to hear his castmates speak about how professional he was in the wake of that was really sweet. So do check out that interview on Jennifer Hudson. It's available. I saw it on YouTube. And lastly, General Hospital, please, you have a talent in your midst that I don't think you are showcasing adequately.
No.
Giovanni Mazza.
That's Mazza.
AKA Giovanni or Gio Palmieri on the show.
Yes.
So we all know he can play violin. We've seen that on the show. But listen,
they are
Gio
dumbing it down.
Can play violin.
They are not.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. They're whoo. First off, you also need to update man's wardrobe because this oh my goodness, man's got style and you're not. Fix it.
Listen.
But this boy, this man, he's got talent and they're not showcasing it to its fullest potential. I get his character does more of the classical stuff, which is so understandable. But
listen,
they gotta switch it up, especially with the fact that they now that you got like Kai Taylor being a part of this whole SAC thing, you need to have an event and you need to have Gio play, but not his classical music.
And maybe that's what this event is, so we can showcase it, or certainly at the Nurses Ball, which we know is coming up.
Oh my God, yes!
Please bring in this spin because Giovanni is playing hip hop violin at NBA halftimes.
What I would love if they did actually bring him in for the Nurses Ball, writers, please, if you haven't thought of this, you are allowed to take it because I'm like, do it. Have him start off with his classical music, and then somehow a beat drop, a record scratch, something, and the man switches into hip hop. He playing his classical, and he's like, you know what? I actually want to switch it up, and then goes. He I don't care. I don't know if he'll be in a tux, but he needs to rip off the tux or something and be like.
Goodness. You just want people ripping off their clothes, so
he won't be naked.
I'm just saying.
This is not like when you had what
I don't know, but I'm gonna continue.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna continue with my thought.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna continue with my thought. So check him out. You can find him on Instagram. His, handle is at Giovanni Violin, all one word, on Instagram. So it's GIOVANNI Violin, VIOLIN, on Instagram. Or you can find him, I believe it's Giovanni Mazza on YouTube. His basketball or NBA halftime shows. He's got some with the Lakers. He had some with the Bulls. He's been doing this, I think he said since he was 8 was his first one. Check it out. It's fantastic. Good. It's really, really good.
This boy is talented, and GH is not. They're not.
Showcase it, man. Showcase it.
Whoo.
Yeah. So that's, I think, all I have. I don't think I have anything else that I missed.
No.
All right,
y'all.
Oh, we did miss a section.
I take that all right, y'all back.
Villain or hero of the week?
Cyrus for scaring me.
Okay. All right.
That wasn't okay. Jason for coming in and telling him to get his hands off his son.
I guess that's going in the hero side, not the villain side.
Yes.
Okay.
And then saying, if you ever come near my son, they will never find your body.
Okay. All right. I don't think I really have a hero of the week. And my villain of the week is halfway tongue-in-cheek. I'm going to put Sasha down for letting the dog run loose into the road and getting Elaine hit by the car. That was
she didn't
unexpected and unintentional, but Sash. I
guess I'll throw in Cody in the villain just because, short-term memory.
Right. That is fair. That's all I have for today. How about you?
No, that's all. That is all.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's go find out. But in the meantime, y'all have a great week. Stay warm. We will be back next week with a little bit of soap
and a hell of a lot of sass.